Like so many others, I would appreciate if our president, President Biden, would make life easy and step down. It's not looking like it's happening. And every day that goes by, we're seeing some experts say it won't and some experts say it will. I watch New Rules by Bill Maher every week. And this last week, he thought it would be a great, and I agree, idea to run through the question that everybody's asking: who would replace him anyways? So let's get right into Bill Maher's New Rules segment.
And finally, new rule, stop fucking around. The issue with President Biden isn't if, it's who. Who will replace him, because he is not going to be the Democrats' candidate for president in 2024, all due respect.
Right out the gate, Bill is telling us his opinion, and let's add him to the list of other political experts like James Carville and Steve Schmidt, who will also watch videos on another segment. Bill is saying it's just going to happen. It's just a matter of who.
Above any matters of politics or what's right or wrong, the one thing I know for sure about America is this: it's run by mean girls. Mean girls in the press and in politics and in life. And when they smell blood in the water, the lust to finish off a vulnerable person will never be denied. Biden is toast. The walls will keep crumbling, and my pick in the office pool for when he gives it up is August 9th, the 50th anniversary of when Nixon did, for, of course, very different reasons.
Let's go into those reasons, just in case anybody may not know. Former President Richard Nixon was found to have participated in attempting to break into the Watergate Hotel in Washington, D.C., where Democrats, his opponents, were stationed and trying to take information, bug it, and do many things to just essentially sabotage the campaign. At first, he denied any involvement. Ultimately, he was caught on recording, and he, like Biden currently is doing, was very, very resistant to leaving. As a famous Nixon quote saying that it goes against every fiber of his being to quit.
Yes, replacing a president as his party's candidate this late will seem like a big deal for about 3 days. And then we'll all be over it. It'll be like when a coworker gets her tits done.
Famous host.
Yeah. At first, it's, oh my God, and a week later, they're just her tits. America is going to do this. We're going to get new tits. So let's start handicapping the candidates. I just want to be your guide here and tell you what the choices are. Kamala Harris, vice president, will get all of Biden's campaign money, and on the Democrats' best issue, abortion, she's a walking reminder to women that Republicans are coming for the abortion pill. She won't just protect Plan B. She is Plan B. And as a former prosecutor, Kamala was putting criminals in jail back before liberals decided that was a bad thing. And now that CVS is locking the shaving cream behind plexiglass, Democrats are coming around to her again. Harris would be the first woman president, first black woman president, and first Asian president. But I don't vote for who will be the first. I vote for who will win. And for whatever reason, Harris has never been popular. You can count the number of delegates she won in the 2020 primaries on one hand, as long as that hand has no fingers. In 3 years as vice president, she's been quieter than an electric car. And like an electric car, your MAGA uncle can't explain why she fills him with homicidal rage. She just does. Sometimes life isn't fair. It's not fair that she's not popular. She's intelligent and accomplished, and in fact, was put in charge of the border. And look at how... Okay, bad example.
I completely agree with everything Bill just said about Kamala. She's just extremely unpopular. I don't know how much more needs to be said about that.
Gavin Newsom, is the governor of California, home to 12% of all Americans and 50% of all Mexicans. On the upside, Newsom is the only governor, with the possible exception of Kristi Noem, who looks like they could do porn. And at 6'3" and 215 pounds, he's actually the height and weight Trump claims to be. I don't want to say he really wants to be the guy who steps in if the current nominee goes down, but he gets an alert on his phone every time Biden can't think of a word. The downside is that governor of California is kind of like being conservator for Britney Spears. They'll attack him on California's homeless problem, but there's a response to that. The homeless can live anywhere, but they choose California. Yeah. 9 out of 10 machete-wielding meth addicts say they wouldn't be unhoused anywhere else. Of course, the knock on Gavin has always been that he's slick. Yeah, you know what? I'm okay with that. I notice slick is something no one has been accusing Biden of lately. Do you want good at talking or don't you? Newsom is the best communicator in the party with a history of standing up to bullies, and his name lends itself to the best slogan since I Like Ike. I'm having Gavin.
Let's talk about Governor Newsom, my home state in California. Of course, there's issues. And the problem in our current media age is that things can just get thrown around, like homelessness, that aren't really talked about. What exactly could Governor Newsom do? Could he do more? Maybe. But what does he do, right? Just like when we talk about with a president, do they have jurisdiction? Do they have the ability to help in a local city? Sure, there's influence, but ultimately there's much more to it. But it does fall back on him from the optics perspective. Although I personally think that Democrats will go for him in droves, especially if they were to see him against Trump in a debate, which ultimately you're going against a formidable foe on the stage, somebody that just takes all life out of you when you do that. And Gavin has been out there as a surrogate for Biden. I think it's great strategy, being ready there to take over at any moment, having your name out there in that way, being loyal, and ultimately introducing yourself to the rest of the country. Because normally when you do that, it would look like a presidential candidate. But if you're into the guise, which is genuine, as a surrogate, as a promoter of the president, then you've got that taken care of.
Gretchen Whitmer is a very attractive choice. High-profile female governor who owns dogs but doesn't shoot them. Polls show Whitmer would beat Trump in the must-win swing state she governs, Michigan, and she's a pragmatist who told the Detroit Free Press, "I want to get shit done," and has, building up a string of victories on increasing wages, universal background checks, expanding health care, legalizing weed, and protecting abortion rights and gay rights. No wonder rednecks tried to kidnap her. And bonus points for this, voters who don't yet know her will think she already was president because of all the TV shows where the president was played by an actress who looks just like Gretchen Whitmer.
Her resume and everything she's done, right-wingers have just been able to, on their media channels like they usually do, she's a successful governor by any stretch of the imagination. She does get shit done. And even if you're going to say you don't like what it is she does, the challenge is that she does it.
Pete Buttigieg, wow, impressive. Impressive. Fought in Afghanistan, came in third among Democrats for the nomination in 2020. is a Rhodes Scholar, former mayor, and now he's the Secretary of Transportation, and he's only 10 years old. But unlike Biden, he's allowed to stay up past 8 p.m. And he's perfect. And he's perfect for the moment, because as our transportation secretary, Pete has experience cleaning up train wrecks. And he has the balls to go on Fox News, although it's no secret that he brings something that makes Fox conservatives very uncomfortable. Facts. For our liberals, Pete checks the gay best friend box, and he speaks 8 languages, which is 8 more than Trump. And his worst scandal was taking too much time off when he had a baby. But if Trump brings that up, Pete can always say, I forget, where were you when Melania was home nursing Barron?
So he brings up Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg, and he fought a good fight, good primary in 2020. But as you can see here, there wasn't much to him. There wasn't much to his name. I would think that after Harris, Newsom, and Whitmer, he would not be the person I would bring up in a top 5. But it's pretty much for that reason. What can you say other than that he can go out there and talk nicely and rally people? I think we're missing the mark on that. I don't think that that would even be a name that anybody would consider if they're really talking about the reason we need Biden to leave is to beat Trump.
Okay, finally, there's this. 37% of our presidents were governors first. The Democratic Party has all these very capable, popular, progressive, but not stupid woke governors. Wes Moore, Andy Beshear, Josh Shapiro, Jared Polis, J.B. Pritzker, Tom Claymore. Okay, I made up Tom Claymore.
I don't know who that is.
But that's because it's important to understand no one knows who these people are, and that's good.
That I agree with.
We need some new characters on this sitcom we call a country. Yeah. Americans like new. And these guys, all you need to know is they're moderates, they're under 100 years old, and they have a D next to their name. Sure, it would be fun and probably a winner if Michelle Obama ran, but she's off living her best life. We're not going to get a superstar. We're not going to get a superstar in this draft. We're at the airport, and at this point, we just need to be sure we get the last rental car. Something reasonably safe, relatively clean, and not Trump. If there isn't a dead Girl Scout in the trunk, we're good to go.
So after watching that, as I kind of just mentioned just a little bit ago when he brought up Pete Buttigieg, it's the governors at the end that the other political commentators that live inside the numbers and the data, that's who they're talking about. And that's who I'm in major support of. I like that they're clean. I like that you have nothing on them at this moment. They just won elections recently, so that means that they've been investigated, they've been checked out, and ultimately they're sharp. They've won important and big states, especially Josh Shapiro winning in Pennsylvania. That's a big battleground state right now. Whitmer's in Michigan, so if you made a ticket between the two of them, you're talking about something that probably can't be beat. And are those people that he actually brought up at the end. I think Harris is a no-go. Newsom, I just don't see it happening. It just doesn't seem like it would happen at this point. Buttigieg is definitely a no-go. Whitmer, I don't see it. But those governors at the end, I think that they're great people. I think they've already done great things, and they've won already hard elections.